again why men find it so hard to talk about mental health. Kai took a quick hiatus from his hiatus to come out and tell us what he's been dealing with, and that is his mental health and just trying to reconfigure his brain and his mindset. And you know what the internet did, specifically men on the internet? They came out in droves to say, since Kai is a multi-millionaire with the easiest job on earth, he should not be dealing with mental health issues, and that he actually is just using this as a ploy to sell a new product to his peon followers. Bruh, how do we expect men to feel comfortable actually opening up and sharing their feelings and sharing what they're going through, which is literally a bunch of men in this loneliness epidemic? The yourself rates are at an all-time high, and y'all continually prove why there's not a safe space for men to do this. Bro dropped that he is reading more and it's been helping him improve his mindset. And somehow a post clowning Kai for reading got 13K likes. Like, I'm convinced our generation, I'm Gen Z and Gen Alpha below me, is just obsessed with hating those that are more successful than you are. And it's only because you feel slighted by a system that is not delivered on its promises. You were taught to believe in this system, this dream, that once you reach a certain age, you will be well off, able to buy a house, able to be debt-free and provide for your family. Times have changed, but instead of people being mad at the system, they just take it out on those that are doing better than them. And it's so tired and so corny, bruh. Who have no difference in ability than Kai Cenat, yet you lash out at Kai's mental health status for your own shortcomings as opposed to questioning why you're in the state you're in. Like, we've seen tons of creators, most notably Etika, who was honestly Kai Cenat before Kai Cenat, deal with mental health issues where it did not end well at all, and yet the lesson is still not learned. In this day and age where we keep pleading for men to go to therapy, take mental health seriously, open up to one another, open up to other men, I don't see how that is going to be a possibility when this is the response to one of the most unproblematic people on the internet. Like, I don't know, man. This is just very disheartening. I'm going to keep being that resource for my guys, keep being that resource for my bros, and keep opening up my damn self, because I do understand the importance of mental health. But we have to do better if we actually want to see a change in the men in our generation, because this is not helping anything but making it easier to hate one another. And we do not need any more of that right now, like, at all. The internet just proved one.
All right. Castanet expresses that he's going through some things. Who does he turn to? He turns to social media to express himself. Many of us don't have a circle at home. Many of us don't have even that at all. Sometimes you just left alone to your thoughts in a room, in a space. He decides to go to the public and say, look, everything is not okay. In turn, you get people trolling, you get people making jokes. They don't take you serious. They don't even think that, oh, it's possible for you to go through anything. You're not hurting. You're not suffering. You're not struggling. Oh, because you're a man, because you have muscles, and because you can bench press 200 pounds and you gross over $250,000 a year, you don't have any problems. There's no possible way that you could be going through anything. What do you say to that? What were your thoughts on that video and this subject in specific?
On the video, it's twofold. Because what happens is we live in a world where people resist change. And so people in an older demographic are naturally going to criticize. They're naturally going to find problems with the way some of the younger folks are going about expressing themselves. I'll have to be full transparency, right? I used to do the same thing. I wouldn't understand why somebody would go online and share their feelings and emotions. But I think at this point you can embrace it, and because you can easily say, well, why didn't he go talk to somebody else and get help, and whatever the case may be, which he very well could have behind the scenes. But I think using this as an opportunity, as a launching point to show young people in his demographic that, hey, look, even though he is a multimillionaire, I'm not counting his pockets, but even though he's successful and he's online, achieving some of the things a lot of people have aspirations to do, he too is going through something. So I think take this opportunity to commend him, to be vulnerable, to say, and I don't care if he's selling a product or not, but it's one of the positive things that we should be highlighting, that the young man is going online and just bringing awareness to mental health. So that's what I took from the video. We can unpack and go down a rabbit hole, obviously, but at initial glance, it's happy to see that he's taking his mental health serious and using this platform as a launching point to just start the conversation, specifically conversation like these.
I'm glad he did that. I mean, because, well, let's look at it this way. As much as we look at you for being loud and eccentric with your content and your delivery, and you have all of these different personalities on your stream, and for the most part, when you think about Cenats, you think, oh, he's gonna be emotive, right? He's not really someone who is serious. You're looking to laugh, you're looking for eye candy, you're looking for messiness, and whatever your niche is, that's usually what he kind of cultivates. But for someone like that to say publicly, look, this is me, everything is not perfect, and because I want to convey to the world that everything is not just so clear and cut. You see all of this in my background. You see me hanging out with all of these people, but at the end of the day, I'm still human. And I need y'all to know that you're not going to see a lot of celebrities or influencers doing this, period. If anyone looks at this and says, oh, this is just for publicity, I'm just really trying to get a specific audience over here to monetize off of, that's debatable. It's messed up, right? Because there are people who do it. But I personally, I don't care if it comes off as if it's for promotional purposes or not. Someone is reaching out, or they're attempting to say, look, I'm here. Someone reach out a hand, and you make joke and make light of it, that's a problem. And Michelle and Tiffany, you brought up some good points as well. We grew up that way. I know I did. You're not supposed to feel nothing. You're just supposed to be a machine. Period. But having that attitude and that mindset, it turns you into a cold and callous person. You don't know how to interact with other people. You know how, but you don't know how. Because there's parts of you who are still struggling with the concept that it's okay to feel and it's okay to actually be vulnerable. Because if you are vulnerable, then by default, you are persecuted and sentenced to a life of degradation and disrespect by everybody involved because you come off as soft, come off as weak. You're not a protector. You can't lead. You can't give advice. You can't be a contributing factor to someone's growth because you are showing that there's a side of you that feels like you're not supposed to feel nothing. So I don't know. I salute him for it. I don't even want to focus on this idea that he's just trying to promote. I think that's corny. The comment section sometimes can really be childish as hell. Just because I don't know you or I don't really rock with the content or whatever the reason is, if somebody is publicly saying I'm not right in the head or something's going wrong or going on with me, why would you offer in return this adolescent crap in response to somebody screaming out, I need help? Are you?
Yeah. So, and again, it's, like we talk about society, man, and the stigmas that get placed on the people, and specifically men. Especially men with, again, I'll say, when you're around young men and they say if they fall, and they start to cry and show some type of emotion, you might naturally just tell them to man up or be a man, versus explaining them how to control that emotion or what to do with that emotion. Again, it all goes back down to the education piece on how we help each other get through situations, how we help each other as far as moving forward and advancing. Because the issue is when you reinforce that idea, it's kind of showing that vulnerability is a sign of weakness. And I think that's some of the issues that we have. And like you mentioned, it just teaches you how to be cold, and you grow up thinking vulnerability is an issue, thinking fear is an issue, and not properly knowing how to process those emotions is we kind of setting ourselves up for failure along the way. And then, also, when we get older as well, that tough guy routine, it's not tough ignoring your emotions and your feelings, more or less is ignorant. And that's those learned behaviors that we have to unlearn, especially as we get older and we go through, life experiences, and we're figuring it out as we go along. And I think we've gotten to a point in society where we've identified, hey, that's obviously a problem. We need to course correct and find a different pattern, how we're moving forward. So, and again, having these conversations like this is where it started.
Definitely, for sure. My pops used to try to reach out to me a lot, and I didn't know how to. I mean, one, because he wasn't biologically my parent. That affected me oddly enough because it's like, damn, this man is actually he all I know, and he's trying to get me to tell him about how my day was at school and this, that, and the third, but I don't know how to approach it. He made the space available, and I regret never actually talking to him because it was like you're always told to you don't snitch, you don't report, you suck it up, and then you just keep doing what you're doing. If you bring other people involved in your issues, then you're going to have to face the consequences from everybody else. You go back and you tell on this person, or you talk about bullying from this person, or you tell your parents about what happened with this, or you get met with it's almost like you get punished for doing things that you're supposed to do against the things that are actually the problem. And that's where I eventually at some point started to understand that's been holding me back. It holds a lot of people back. You ruin relationships. It messes up business. It messes up friendships. It disables and creates this scenario where every time you start to get close to somebody,